get on your soapbox, take these youngins to school. Let's let them know about Flavio Briatore, because in the midst of all this insanity, they did something really insane.
Yeah, so Flavio Briatore presided over, and I'll say lots of allegedlys, but the 2008 controversy with the Singapore Grand Prix, where they basically used, and I don't think this is alleged anymore, I think this is all fine. They basically used Nelson Piquet Jr. to deliberately crash into a wall, so instructed their driver to deliberately crash into a wall. Just take a second to absorb that. On purpose, drive your very fast race car into the wall. And if you go and look up footage, in retrospect, it really looks obvious. It's such a weird crash because he just stays on the power. I think he gets into the corner, starts accelerating to the corner, but then, a lot of left-hand lock and then a big squirt of juice and just flies into the corner, inside corner on the exit. So that was deliberate because then Fernando Alonso, his crew or people in the team, no proof that Alonso knew about it, were able to then capitalize on that, and he come out and he'll, and win the race. But that is why Felipe Massa is saying that race should be voided, and therefore he should be the 2008 champion. I don't think he's really got a leg to stand on there. And he also fluffed that race himself. The team managed to leave the fuel hose attached, so he drove out the pit lane with the fuel hose attached. But look, when you've presided over telling a driver to deliberately crash, that feels pretty serious to me. And he got a life ban for it. So that life ban was then overturned a couple of years later, but there was still this feeling in F1 that he shouldn't be involved in Formula One again. And so a lot of people of my generation who, have been around at that time see this appointment as a bit sketchy, actually. There's a bit, personally, I look at that and I go, I would want to distance myself from someone who had done that. And Alpine have obviously decided that whatever goals they have are more important than the reputational damage of having Briatore there, which instantly leads me to the conclusion that Briatore is a businessman. Has he actually been brought in to kind of broker a takeover? So it could be a takeover of, a group of independents like Janai. If you remember Janai in like I'm testing myself now here, but at the back before the hybrid era, an investment group, Janai, came in and badged themselves as Lotus, which is now the Renault team. So could there be something like that again, where it's an investment group who wants to make money out of Formula One, but then they run Alpine as their title sponsor or run Renault as the title sponsor or something like that? But Briatore's involvement isn't going to be to come in and look at the aeroflow. It's going to be something business related.
Well,
which makes you
could
say,
be hiring someone to look at the aeroflow. That's also been rumored, and that person would be, of course, free agent Adrian Newey, Spanners. I don't know if you buy into those rumors or not, but I don't think so either. But that people are trying to connect the dots because I think, like you already mentioned, it's a very interesting and strange appointment.
It is, yeah, and this is just what makes me think that it's not all in their hands. I don't think they're bringing in Flavio Briatore to save the Alpine brand. It looks like something else.
Let me give you a couple of interesting other facts about Flavio Briatore before we move on. He was the assistant to a guy named Attilio Duto, who was owner of a paint company. Duto died in a car bomb attack in 1979 by an unknown perpetrator, making this the only person I know of in F1 whose boss was blown up in his car. In addition to that, he's got an entire header, a section in his Wikipedia that says convictions and fugitive status. A lot of allegedlys, but I'm just saying, it's a wild ride. And this is the man you're bringing in-house. Alpine.
Yeah.
Alpine, you wild, wild boys.
Yeah. They're not bringing them in to bolster their social media. This is not a,
That's
a
what
PR
Patrick
move.
Mahomes is for. Yeah.